In the Jewish Old Testament, God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. In the Gospel according to John, first there was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and the Word became the flesh. Sound is the first vibration of nature through which material form comes into existence. My body is frozen sound. The universe in its material expression is a constant transformation of vibrations that express themselves into form and phenomena. And these vibrations are literally the sound of the ultimate ground of creation, which is consciousness. It is through sound that consciousness conceives and governs and constructs and then becomes the physical world. Sound is the most primordial impulse in consciousness. Even as I'm speaking to you, these words are actually sounds, and these sounds are vibration of my breath. And the book of Genesis says that Lord God made man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. But that breath of life was a vibrating breath of life. It was a primordial sound. So in the Indian scriptures, there's an expression, one word, and the whole universe throbbed into existence.
Nam-myoho-renge-kyo is the name of life, or the name of the Buddha nature in all of life. And when you call this name, you get a specific response.
Call and response. That's what this is. Call and response. Call and response. See that amen? That's a response.
Sense of the spirit just does not come by emotion. Sense of the spirit comes by hearing something, the voices, the rhythms coming our way.
You see? Call and when you laugh, that's a response. When you clap, that's a response. Call and response. Call and response. You are the messengers, and I am the messenger also. Call and response.
Some of us may shout, some of us may laugh, some of us may get angry and upset. Some of us may feel loving like we've never felt before. Some of us may feel accepted at last. At last, here we are being accepted. All of those go into making the sounds more human, more viable, more intensive, more critical. Sound is critical.
When you've done all you can, seems like it's never enough. Tell me, what do you say when friends turn away, you're alone? Tell me.
It feels like we're resonating with the whole community. So we're connecting. We're resonating with the whole.
Yes, enveloped in this common feeling and this common sound, and it almost makes you release. You get caught. You come in here with all these feelings and opinions and ideas about what is it to be here and what am I and who are these people, and then you just get caught in this common energy, and you just let go of all that, and that actually fuels you to sing even with more conviction.
It's the only place we really come together. We really are truly one.
Well, you surrender control. I feel myself surrendering control when I'm singing.
And the audience does that too.
Yeah.
They let go and we let go, so we really connect.
And your hair stands on end.
And it feels like you can't make it through. Well, you just stand. Don't you dare give up. Through the storm, through the rain, through the hurt, step through the pain. Hold on, be strong. God will step in. It won't be long. Don't you bow.
It's like something that comes through me and through us and sort of shares whatever the experience of where that power or that energy comes from, and it just gives it. It's like we're like channels.
My spirit just kind of soars. That's what, and it's a good feeling. It's a feeling that's very healing.
I feel I can fly. I feel I can soar. I feel like a spirit who's been uplifted.
After you've endured all the hurts, after you've gone through the pain, after you've done all you can, you just stand. Oh, 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 you just.
Rumi lived in the 13th century, and he was an Islamic pedagogue in the beginning till he fell in love, and then after that he maintained that our helplessness and our vulnerability is the way to our divinity, and if we can't find the divine within us through relationship, through love, then it's very unlikely that we'll find God in a book of theology.
when we share the same experience, when we hear the music of the others, their cultures, their spirituality, when we discover the face of the other, everything changes and the other become very close to our hearts.
It's taken me a long time to discover the chant. It wasn't the music that I was familiar with when I entered. I came from a world of rock and roll, and I was attracted to the Abbey and sort of took the chant for granted that that went along with the life. The beauty of it is that I think it's the only kind of music that you could sing every day, 7 times a day, and not tire of it. The chant has the capacity to be something you're always going into. It's a very big container, as you might say, or a context to which you can bring almost anything in life.
Within chant, there is a basic structure or an architecture of what a drama is, but that drama doesn't disclose itself at first. In fact, I was pretty bored. I hate to admit that, but I might as well, because I think there are people for whom they don't get it. And the first few months in the monastery, and I have to say even longer than that, you know, I still have the wet marks from crying over the book saying, I'll never stick this out.
But it's not monotonous if it's alive and it's loving and there's mind and heart and meaning in it. If there's meaning, the meaning unfolds. So that's not monotonous, but you have to get inside it. You have to have, I think, an aesthetic and a human and a spiritual purification to really understand the chant and enter into what it has to offer people. It's a great, you know, people are always looking for a way of, you know, coming to some kind of spiritual something. The chant is a great thing with that, and you have to sing it with other people.
We live together, we work together, we're trying to work in harmony together. So chanting together is a natural thing that we want to do. And we get encouragement from one another.
Everybody we meet, different countries, it all sounds the same. Even in German, Italian, it all sounds Nam-myoho Renge Kyo.
The function of a chant is to make the worshipper and the object of worship one. To make the devotee and the object of devotion one. To make the observer and that which is observed one, the seer and the scenery one, the lover and the beloved one, the knower and the object of knowledge one. Chanting is used everywhere, and the reason it is used everywhere is that it evokes from within you the healing response. The word healing comes from the word holy, which means to become whole, to connect body, mind, soul and spirit, and chants are one way of doing it.
It's another kind of thing. It has that maybe like a dry wine. It has something like that. It's very dry, but it's very fulfilling. It's a very incredible thing, and you experience something different, something new.
I came here as a freshman in college, and I was very touched by the chant. I'd never heard it before, but it seemed completely natural to me.
Those combinations of 1, 2 or 1, 2, 3 are infinitely varied, just like the wind's blowing now, and or you see the branches go up and down if they do it themselves and not helped by my arm. They have a natural way of doing it, but you never know exactly what that pattern is.
It's like the contour of an ocean wave, or the swelling of an ocean wave and the release. Breathing, inhale, exhale, lift, fall. So there's a definite order in the movement. It's definitely a horizontal movement, as movement is within creation.
The word enchantment literally means to become one with God through chanting. So chant and on. Enchantment is the magic that happens to you when you become one with the divine through the process of chanting. Most chants, whether they're Gregorian chants or Sufi chants or Vedic chants or Aborigine chants or American Indian chants, if you trace the roots of them, they are primordial sounds of nature.
I think what it does is it goes so deep into your cellular consciousness that it reminds you, it's called primordial remembrance. It reminds you of your healthy, whole state of being. The first time I was gonged, I went right out of my body. The fullness of tone causes you through a compression of sound waves to sort of levitate. Your spirit levitates. And you feel a sense of timelessness. Time stops. And it's almost as if you closed your eyes, you could just be in an ocean of sound. Consciousness without an object, just you and sound. It has the equivalency of a 100-piece orchestra. And as you're playing it, you're sort of conducting that orchestra, except it's not really you. Your ego's not involved, it's the gong is doing it. It's the food that goes in the ear that feeds the soul. I think that it's really given me a lot of energy over the years, keeping you youthful and young in your attitude, and certainly keeping you feeling with that spirit of life. A yogi by the name of Yogi Bhajan in Beverly Hills in '69, after a yoga class, gonged us. He was my first gong master. And he hit the gong, he hit the bell, and he played the conch. And I've been doing that the rest of my life. The tradition of Sufism have as their basic tenet that through devotion, through love, through surrender, through exposing your vulnerability, through the ecstatic dervish dance, you can get in touch with the divine. That most primordial energy force that is creating the whole universe out of its own exaltation, out of its own exuberance. There's an Indian poem by Tagore who is looking at a field of flowers, and he says, where is that fountain that throws out these flowers in such a ceaseless outbreak of ecstasy?
העבר וחרב רעב מעלינו אבינו מלכנו קלך אוצר ומסטין מעלינו.
In traditional Jewish practice, a woman's voice was not supposed to be heard above a man's voice because it was considered too seductive and it would draw the man away from his prayer and into more worldly realms. The Reform movement and much of the conservative movement feels that a woman's voice can enhance the worship experience just as much as a man's voice.
This piece is called Sound Emerging Visible. I conceptualized what noise might look like, which is this chaotic wire part, but I was interested in sort of the dynamics between sound producing objects and the ear as it then moves into the body and we actually process that information. These are cochlea, which is a bone in your inner ear. And it's a bone that helps with both your perception of sound and it also gives you balance. And this is typical of the way I use sort of anatomical facts in my work. And I am really interested in the way, as human beings, we take in information from the world. And I'm thinking back to early paintings of the Annunciation, for instance, where God is sending down the message to Mary and it's into her ear. It's visualized in early Christian paintings as a dove flying into the ear often.
Music is my instrument of communication between my soul and the source of all life.
I don't think that music is as universal as math, for instance. It does have a cultural context, and in many cases I found that certain types of music don't translate into other cultures well. But if a person is open-minded, and if they are even remotely interested in learning about another culture's music, they will find the beauty in it. They will find the beauty. This flute I consider to be very sacred, and so I believe that this flute is very sacred because it still is very much alive, and it has its own voice and its own personality. It taught me in a dream how to play it, how to hold it properly, and even the melody. I've been in many situations where we've begun a song and suddenly from behind a mountain will come 7 eagles and they will fly beautifully, just fly around where we are all singing, and then they'll go back over the mountain and disappear. And the next day we start again singing and they'll come back. We believe that these guardians are always with us. Here in the city, they're here. They're here also. They're here everywhere. The spirit of the land is all pervasive. The sacred place is inside. It's inside of me, it's inside of you. My body's being utilized to play, but something else, much bigger, a much better musician than I, is doing the music. I'm being played, just like I'm playing the flute, someone's playing me.
First of all, rhythm is healing in the sense that rhythm, 60 to 70 beats per minute, is the ideal tempo of the heartbeat. And there are certain rhythmic archetypes that run throughout the world. The rocking chair, the heartbeat that we heard in the womb. Many things that we've created, including chants and mantras, all follow that tempo.
Actually, even if you trace the origin of words in different languages, you'll find that they come from the same sound. So if you take, say, the word mother in English, that's the word mata in Hindi, it's the word matrika in Sanskrit, it's the word mater in Latin, it's matrix in Greek, and they all refer to the womb of creation. And from that word we get other words like time, measurement, maya, meter, and matter. And you could take any word in any language, and as a paleolinguistic anthropologist would do, and you would trace the origins of the word into the sounds of nature. So language, which is sound, doesn't describe, it actually creates. Language is nature's way of vibrating itself into existence.
The Iraqi maqam is usually described as a sad performance.
You have to cry when you listen to this music because there is some chromatism, some chromatic, small intervals of quarter tones. Like, you have to.
But the sadness does not portray defeat or weakness. It is optimistic.
It's a tragedy of the spirit, of love, of God.
I express my whole existence and express myself and all my worries and feelings.
The Arabic music is a trance, in a mental trance, you know. It's belong to Sufism. When you play, when you sing good, you can tell he sing, and we tell Allah. And when he listen a good play of Ali, he do something like ding 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 ding. Hussein tell Allah 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 Allah.
As the conductor, you have to make sure that what you convey to people in this concert, in this time together, is something that helps them to know that they are participants, that they are involved. And that they can, in fact, move with the mood of the time, musically or humanly speaking. And so when they do that, what it does is it comes back to me, and I get inspired. I know when I'm on, and they help to put me on even more because of what they are exuding, what they are exemplifying, what they are dramatizing. And so when they do that, I'm gone.
Sometimes I come in and I have my own problems or issues, and I can come in and I can be all tense and upset, and when I leave, it's just like a burden that's been uplifted. And seeing the people in the audience, you know, being right in the front, it's kind of scary, but you get to see all the emotions and things of people, and it's really wonderful.
It was flowing. It was flowing in, and there's no stopping with one particular emotion, because you're just going with the song and the feeling and the people around you.
One of my favorite quotes says, "Those who sing pray twice."
Yes, yes, yes.
And I think that really is true for me in this particular group.
اختفت شمس الضحى وما بدري التمام أمان أمان اختفت شمس الضحى وما بدري التمام أمان أمان لما حبيبي كشف الليثام لما حبيبي كشف الليثام الله الله الله
It's a spiritual song asking for the Creator's blessing. Sacred music and sacred ceremonies are about praying for the world in a thankful way. Being thankful for all of these connections and all of these relatives and sending blessings to them and hoping and praying for their prosperity forever in this world.
All I remember when I first came, the abbess said to me, "Well, what do you want to do, Dolores?" And I said, "I want to do God's will." You know, I was And I said that 2 or 3 times, and finally she said, you know, I'm really not interested in God's will. I'm interested in finding out what you want to do. Oh. And I said, I think I want to do this. I really do. But I said, I don't know why, and please don't check on me too often. Very often, our own listening to ourself is always concerned on how does this affect me, and I think all of us live most of our lives constantly seeing, well, where's the climax here for me? How do I feel about this? And once in a monastic sense, you begin to change your center to where you're really concerned about someone else. I think that's when the chant begins to affect you, and you begin to perceive that this mysterious drama that has been unfolding for centuries for people, that there is a depth to the chant and a story to it.
I was looking for what my truth might be, and I sure didn't think it would be singing the chant for the rest of my life, but there you have it.
I've never really considered deeply that I was going to have to spend my life learning how to sing it until I entered. So it's taken me a long time to, I think, to come to appreciate it.
I mean, we all go through moments where you say, oh, I mean, really? I mean, really? I mean, you know, I don't have a checkbook, I can't get in my own car, I have to sit next to this person. And then when you rethink it and you come back and you say, no, I know this is what I was supposed to do.
It's of another reality. It's worth it. It changes the way that I am the next day. I think it makes me more receptive as a woman.
We all express mourning, exuberance, joy through sound. And the first sound, I think, was a baby's cry. And the response to that sound is a lullaby.
Und der Rebbe lernt kleine Kinderlach, dem Alef Beis, Zetje Kinderlach, gedenkje Teiere, was lernt do, sagt je noch einmal und Tage noch einmal, kommet alle vor. Sagt je noch einmal und Tage noch einmal, kommet alle vor.
Lullaby is the heartbeat. Rocking chairs. That's why rocking chairs are so soothing. Hammocks. Those are all archetypes of that original sound that we have created in order to go back to the womb, in order to feel safe. That's why everybody's going to meditate today. They'd say, oh, I have to meditate. The reason is because they won't need to get back into that tempo, into that heartbeat tempo that we originally heard in the womb.
they all express the eternal yearning of humanity to become one with its source. You can call it God or a conscious energy field or the field of pure consciousness, or a physicist might say the unified field from where the elements and forces of the universe come. But yeah, the whole idea is to go back to where we came from.